maybe. There we go. Hi there, welcome. We'll wait a minute or so to see if we can get everyone in the room before we get started. All right, it looks like we're good. So welcome everybody to the MOACAC Show Me My Future presentations. Tonight we're with Grand Canyon University, and Samantha will be joining us and telling you all about GCU and what it's like to be a student there and everything that goes with it. I just have a couple reminders. So my name is Jenny. I'm with MOACAC. I'll be the facilitator for the evening. As soon as we get started, I'll actually black out my screen. But I will bounce back on when it seems like everyone's questions have been answered or when we run out of time. So I just have a couple announcements or reminders. How do I ask questions? If you guys use the Q&A button at the bottom of that screen, GCU will either respond to you privately or respond to the group, depending on the question. If you want that question answered privately, just indicate that in your question, and that's no problem at all. We'll keep your camera and microphone off, and you'll be muted, and your screen will be black. So that means the only way to ask a question is through the Q&A functionality. Don't forget to sign up for more sessions. There are tons of universities who are doing these Show Me presentations, and they're incredible, and they have been so fun to facilitate, and they are all just so different and so unique, and it's a great way to get a taste of just a lot of different universities in a really easy way. So feel free to jump in and sign up for more sessions. You can do that on the website at www.moacac.org. And then lastly, this presentation will be recorded, and the recording will be available on the web. So same place, www.moacac.org. So if you loved it and think I want my best friend to go to GCU, then go ahead and send them that link and they can watch the presentation after the fact as well. So again, welcome, and I'm going to turn it over to Samantha.
Awesome. It's great to see everyone, not really tonight, but I'm so glad we're able to present to you guys and share a little bit about Grand Canyon University. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if you can see that. That's just the beginning of our slideshow. So we are Grand Canyon University, a private Christian university in Phoenix, Arizona, and I actually live here in Kansas City, Missouri. So I get to work with the students in the area, and I absolutely love that, building a relationship with you guys. And I didn't know about any out-of-state school options because I didn't think that they were very affordable. So I love presenting GCU as an affordable out-of-state option for you. So here's our next slide. We have no out-of-state tuition. We have not raised tuition in 12 years. We are a private Christian university, again in Phoenix, so really nice weather too, very different than Kansas City. We are just as affordable as a lot of state universities. So I've worked with a lot of other students with their interest in going to GCU, thinking that, wow, you know, this is actually just as affordable as a state school. So I love that, and we have been ranked as #6 best college campus by niche, and also one of the best, I think 6 or 7 living facilities as well. So we're 90% of our graduates have graduated their programs in 3.5 years or less, and over half of our students are from out of state. We have some hands-on practical applications in all of our different programs, and our average class size is less than 25 students. So we've got a little bit of a different programming for you tonight, which is called Career Compass, Find Your Purpose. I just know that I've worked with so many high school students that are not 100% sure on what they want to pursue in their degree, which is completely normal. I mean, that's normal going into your adult life as well. So I just love advising students on their passions, something that they feel really strongly about. So we're going to go over a few areas of study tonight in terms of what we offer at GCU, but just generally speaking on what you may want to pursue and study going forward into your future. So we will also have a different presentation tomorrow that is specific to GCU, so you can find out all about eating Chick-fil-A on campus and learning about our on-campus life. But today is more geared towards students that feel undecided and just kind of outline different things that are different between different programs that you might find at other universities too. So feel free to reach out if you have questions about where to get that link information if you want to learn more about Grand Canyon University specifically. But we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide, which is the access code and the link for Career Compass. So go ahead and pull out your phone and scan that QR code on the screen, because that's going to take you straight to our Career Compass, which is kind of a career aptitude test on things that you may feel strongly about, like I said, passionate, aligning with your goals, and the things that you are really strong with. So some of your strengths and your passions kind of intertwine together. And obviously, since it's a GCU resource, we offer over 220 degrees. It's going to point you to some of those degrees that we offer that would be a great fit for you. So the access code is on the screen. If you don't have a secondary device, just go ahead and take a screenshot of this and use this at a later point, and do it at a later time, because you want to make sure that you get some of the information from today. So obviously, I'm not going to cover every single program that we offer, but we do have some people on the call today that will be able to answer some questions about specific things. So let's go ahead and get started on our programs. We do have a lot of students that are interested in medicine on campus. I've personally worked with some students that have already registered for GCU from Kansas City, and a lot of them are pre-med students. So we have cadaver labs on campus, which is a really great resource for our students. And, generally speaking, medicine is a great field for students that have strengths in science and anatomy. And we have a different, emphasis that might interest you. Nursing is a pretty straightforward degree. It is very competitive at a lot of schools to get into the nursing program. It's a very popular degree at GCU, but we do have simulation labs with dummies that can simulate everything from, losing blood pressure to possibly giving birth. They can simulate a lot of those different scenarios, and a lot of schools offer that as well. So pre-med is also another option that, like I said, I have a lot of students that are already very interested in that. With GCU, we have a partnership with a med school that would give you automatic acceptance to their university for going to GCU for your pre-med degree. So no matter what you score on that MCAT, you would be accepted to this medical school. So that's an amazing opportunity that we offer as well. Let's kind of break down biochem and molecular biology. So if you're not super familiar with sciences, this is going to kind of give you an overview of what you would learn on this degree specifically. So molecular life sciences are the leading edge of science and innovation in the tiniest cells. There's a world waiting to be discovered, and you can build a strong foundation of scientific knowledge and skills with the Bachelor's of Science in Biochem and Molecular Biology program. So becoming part of the scientific revolution, working to cure life-threatening diseases, finding an answer to energy crisis, or solve world hunger through scientific innovations. So that's more in a lab, kind of if you're really interested in those minutia, those details that are found in biology, that might be a really great fit for you. And biological sciences is another degree that I can kind of explain as well. It's a non-human health-oriented science track for students that want to pursue an impactful career in STEM. So this program is ideal for a student who is curious about the natural world and desire to improve the world through application of biological principles. So that's a little bit more applicable of biology into these real life scenarios as well. And environmental science is another degree that we offer, and it's a good degree as well if you have a passion for the environment and you might want to use your love of science to help make that difference in environmental science. Join other globally focused scientists in that Bachelor's of Environmental Studies program. And so pre-PA, that's one that some of my students are confused about. So the main difference between a doctor and a physician's assistant is that a PA, physician's assistant, works under the supervision of a doctor, whereas a doctor has a full responsibility for a clinical situation. So both are qualified as medical professionals and very much work in collaboration with one another. But that's kind of the difference between a physician's assistant and a doctor, if you were interested in that. We also are one of very few schools that offers forensic science. So you may see on CSI that a forensic scientist is in the lab and they're also on the crime scene. This forensic scientist, that the job description is actually that they're just in the lab part. So they do all of the working hands-on with the evidence. So with the rapid advancements in biology and technology, because all the precision of the science, courts are allocating greater weight to forensic evidence. So that's created a critical need for personnel within this specific training field. So we do a lot of hands-on training with forensic science, and actually GCU is partnered with the Phoenix PD to give you some context to those situations as well. And nutrition is another degree I've had a couple students interested in as well. If you get a degree in this program at GCU specifically will prepare students to turn your passion for health and wellness into a career with a goal to help others achieve and maintain optimal health. So this bachelor's degree is really great if you're passionate about healthcare, fitness, and kind of like an education person as well. You're being that utilizing your skills to help someone else. So if that's one of your interests, this might be a good fit for you. But this program also prepares students for graduate, education as well. But the job growth, which I found really interesting for dietitians and nutritionists, is expected to grow by 11%, which is much faster than average, between 2018 to 2028. So that's a little stat from the Bureau of Labor. So let's go ahead and skip over to technology. This is an interesting field because I feel like if you already know that you're interested in technology, you may be someone that is really into computers and kind of how that comes together, but you may not know how the different jobs within the field of technology kind of intertwine with one another. So I have this really cool video that kind of breaks that down into different roles within the field of technology. And these are very general degrees that are offered at most universities as well. So let's see if this will play for us because, technology. I think I just have to press play. And the analogy is a restaurant. So we're in a restaurant setting and let me make sure that it works. We're in a restaurant setting and these are the different roles within a restaurant that will intertwine with one another and how they interact with one another, how they, help each other through that situation. And if it doesn't work, then I will just go ahead and find it later. Oh, there it is. Yay. It's a cute little cartoon. Make sure the volume's up.
So you want to pursue a career in the high-demand, high-paying field of computer technology. That's great. But with so many related degrees and career paths to choose from, how do you know which will work best for you? Here's a fun and helpful way to think about it before sinking your teeth into a major. Imagine the computer technology field as a restaurant. Like any restaurant, it takes a diverse range of skills to deliver a delicious, well-prepared product to its customers. Technology. It all starts with computer scientists, the chefs of our restaurant. Focused on theory, these inventors use the scientific method to test out new ingredient combinations in search of groundbreaking new recipes that will make an impact on customers. Next up are the computer programmers, or cooks of our restaurant. Their job is to put the scientists' theoretical recipes into practical use, combining the right quantities of each ingredient in the right way to make the quality real-world product the customer ordered. Of course, our cooks and chefs couldn't function without information technology or managers. They make sure the restaurant runs smoothly, maintaining the appropriate equipment, supplies, and schedules needed for a successful operation. Meanwhile, cybersecurity, our health inspectors, work behind the scenes to monitor, detect, and counteract any potential threats. So think about which role might be a good fit for you. With the right choice, you'll be on your way to a 4-star career in computer technology.
Awesome. I find it a little ironic that the technology one was a little glitchy. Anyways, Tyler Lago is on our call to talk a little bit about engineering. He is one of our awesome program development specialists. So he actually lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and works with all incoming students that are interested in engineering. He's a great resource. So Tyler, go ahead and take it away.
Sweet. Thank you, Samantha. And to kind of explain what I do within GCU's College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, I work alongside Dr. Jeanette Berlin-Finari. She's our Associate Dean of Engineering. And I also work alongside our faculty. A part of my role is to be available to speak with potential students. And I'm excited to explain to you really what our programs are all about. And so we offer 7 engineering programs and really focus on 3 specific fields of engineering: mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and biomedical engineering. And so to kind of go down each one of the programs, so starting with mechanical engineering, if you picture, I love to use the example of an airplane. If you picture an airplane, the mechanical engineering side of an airplane is anywhere from the design, development, testing, production, manufacturing of every single part and component inside the jet engine, to the wings, the rudders of the wings, the aerodynamics of the plane, inside the cabin of the plane to keep it at the right air pressure. That HVAC system is mechanical engineering based, even down to the seats. When we used to fly pre-COVID and you press that little button that you sit back 3 inches, even that's mechanical engineering based. And so it's so highly integrated to so many different fields, students can really apply it in many areas. So any vehicle-based industry requires a mechanical engineer. So that's aeronautical engineering, automotive, locomotive, marine, aerospace, manufacturing, parts of construction, parts of petroleum engineering, mining, agriculture. There's a lot that mechanical engineers can do with their degree. And that's really key to know, GC or not. It's really important to understand that outside of very, very specialized roles, let's say in like NASA or SpaceX, the vast majority of job postings for engineering roles, let's say aerospace, they're really going to be asking for in the job description as far as degree program that you studied. It'd be aerospace / mechanical engineering or aerospace / electrical engineering, because at the end of the day, what they're really looking for is a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer, a civil engineer, chemical engineer, a general discipline engineer for that specific industry, because they're really hiring for a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer, and so on and so forth. And so that's mechanical engineering in a summary. Then we have biomedical engineering, in which biomedical engineering is vastly relevant right now. So biomedical engineers are really engineers that are improving the healthcare industry. And there's 3 major areas of biomedical engineering. There's biomaterials, so think about synthetic skin or artificial organs. Actually, one of our faculty, Dr. Jeffrey Abel, is one of our biomedical engineering faculty. He's also a researcher, and one of the previous projects he and his team have really worked on is researching how to develop an artificial bladder. But then there's also imaging in biomedical engineering. So think about CT scanners, MRIs, ultrasounds, that image quality to help healthcare professionals more effectively diagnose patients. That is the work of biomedical engineers. But the highest area of biomedical engineering, the highest demand, would be development of healthcare devices. And so anything large scale like a ventilator to anything small scale like even a bandage is technically a biomedical engineering device. And then as well, we have electrical engineering. And so think back to an airplane. The electrical engineering side of an airplane is anything from the physical hardware, the circuitry on the plane for all of the different systems that they have, to the wiring of the plane. Electrical engineers are not going to be ones that actually are in the assembly line wiring the plane itself, but they're the ones that design all of the wiring for the systems inside the plane. They're also in signals, so think about AM, FM, radar, sonar, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. All of those signals are calibrated by electrical engineers to send information. And then another area that they work in is in the utilities industry. And so electrical engineers are primarily the engineers that maintain power plants for our different towns and cities. Other programs that we offer are our 2 engineering technology programs. And so that's mechanical engineering technology as well as electrical engineering technology, which those programs are not for technician roles. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average pay gap between a technician and engineer is around $30,000 difference. And so what the engineering technology programs are for are really, they're specialized for students that want to be in just application-based engineering roles. So think about test engineers, validation engineers, quality control engineers, product engineers, where they're not doing heavy mathematical modeling within their role. They're also not really in heavy research-based roles, but they're still in the engineering tier and working very hands-on in their capacity. And then there's two other programs that we offer, unfortunately not on the slide, but we have a Bachelor of Science for Engineering, which I would personally argue would be better described as a Bachelor of Science for Engineering with an emphasis in engineering management, because we weave in 5 or 6 business courses into that program for students to prepare for roles like a project manager, where they're not necessarily an engineer, but they're still in an engineering firm, more on the management side. But they could also use that degree to become an engineer, because they get cross-training in mechanical and electrical engineering. And then we also offer, the last program for engineering is our engineering with an emphasis on robotics program. And so all a robotic system is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and computer programming all put together. And so that's really what a student is learning inside our emphasis on robotics program. And that's for the design of robotic systems, as well as automation. And so that's the 7 programs that GCU offers for engineering. Our department, we really focus on our students working with the equipment, because at the end of the day, engineers are the ones that take calculus, physics, differential equations, transport phenomena, thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, all of these theories and equations. They're the ones that take those theories and leverage them as tools. And a part of that is applying them on real world projects. And so most of our core engineering classes across all 7 of our programs, we don't separate the time between the lecture and the lab, the time that the students learn the theory and the time that the students get to actually be in a lab, apply on real world equipment and actual projects. We want our students to have as much time in our labs utilizing the equipment, so again, that they are able to leverage those theories for the greater good. And so all that being said, that's a summary of really what our programs are all about for engineering. And if you have any further questions about that, please feel free to type in the chat box. I'll be on this presentation for the rest of the evening. Please feel free to ask me any questions that you have. Thank you.
That was awesome, Tyler. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so the next slide is going to be about business, and on the left will be a bunch of our different programs that we offer, and it's going to show you a quick video. Whoa, it skipped. Hang on, let me try that again. Gotta love it. Okay, there we go. Engineering and business.
Entrepreneurial spirit at Grand Canyon University stems from the opportunities that are provided to students. We're very collaborative. So you have business students working with engineering students, business students working with technology students, and it's allowed this environment to share ideas, because every business needs the subject matter expertise, they need technology, and they need then a business person to kind of help bring it all together.
Grand Canyon is striving, taking leaps and bounds to ensure that the students at this university are resourced well and are given opportunities, not just told about opportunities, where they can practically do hands-on work.
They're very willing to just give you the keys with something, whether it's a small project or a big project, and say, hey, run with it and make us proud. It can be a lot of responsibility at times. It can be a lot of weight on your shoulders. But where else are you going to be a part of this wave and growth other than here at GCU?
Students want to do something, and they have a lot of initiative on their own, and that initiative just needs to be creatively released. Give them a lot of trust and a lot of opportunity to kind of go with what they can do, and they outperform our expectations every time.
We have programs like Idea Club, which walks you through not only how to start your business, but how to kind of get to the point where you can present and pitch in front of any pitch competition. And we actually have programs that have set people up to pitch internationally.
We do Marketplace and we do Canyon Challenge. So that's exactly where students who already have businesses are able to show their businesses. At Marketplace, they're able to sell their products, services to other students, to other professors, and like anyone who's at GCU. At Canyon Challenge, they are able to compete in kind of like a Shark Tank competition.
you create this environment at GCU of entrepreneurship, and suddenly everybody is now capable of being entrepreneurial, because ultimately it's all about interaction with people. You get this opportunity to start having conversations about what you love, and so it's no longer you in this little corner of the world thinking about your idea. It's you speaking to a community of people and discovering that it makes sense outside of your own head and into a business sometimes.
So it's a mix of the academic experience, the co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities, with the faculty involvement on a university that is living and breathing the principles of conscious capitalism, of a higher purpose and stakeholder integration. That is what fosters the entrepreneurial opportunities and successes for our students.
So you can see that there are a lot of business degrees that we offer at GCU, and a lot of schools offer many business degrees. So I wanted to break down some of the different ones and how they may be different than one another, and see if you may have a better fit for yourself. So accounting is obviously one of the fields that uses a lot of math, but as far as what it would lead you into, there are two different types of accountants that you can become with this degree. You can work towards either a CMA, it's called Certified Management Accountant, and you can have that certificate, or a Certified Public Accountant Licensure, a CPA. So the difference between those, a CMA is globally recognized credential with a special focus on corporate finance and management accounting. And then a CPA is a licensed trusted financial advisor who has passed the CPA exam and met work experience requirements before being licensed. So a couple things for you to look into if that's something that draws your interest. Another one that's very interesting to me is business administration versus business management. Before getting into this role, I did not know the difference. So to break that down for you, business management is more of the generalist approach. So these managers normally work on the vision for the organization, and from a service and relationship building, product development, expansion, supply, chain distribution, they understand the importance of managing their workers, deliverables, and deadlines. The business degree for this program, at least with GCU, is a good option and a start for students that may not know fully what direction in business they want to take. And we also have the applied management program, which is good for students that are transferring. So if you are started at a community college or started at a four-year university and looking to transfer somewhere else, the applied degrees, the versions of those, are a great option for you. So looking at business administration, that is a much more specialized field. So it'll have a more specialized look of our courses. So in a couple areas, for example, the main role of an administrator is to help keep the company operational day to day. So business administrators play a fundamental and essential part with the accounting departments, financial resources, IT departments, client service, facility operations, and the combination of these administrations helps make everything run really smooth. So simply put, managers create goals and strategic plans, and administrators take actions to achieve those goals. So that's a really great option. And we also have a golf management program, which is really awesome. Phoenix is a great place for golf if you're interested and passionate about that. Analytics, and obviously applied analytics for transfer students. But what is analytics? Why is it important? The analytics is the understanding of data and how it interacts with business to solve industry problems and challenges. So data is very important. It's one of the most valuable resources on earth, and it is worth trillions of dollars. And many industries create their strategic plans, goals, and futures on data. So data is very simply information. Analytics uses math to manipulate this raw information in order to create companies and organizations with valuable insight that can help them get a competitive edge over their competition. So for example, Grand Canyon University has its own beverage company, the Grand Canyon Beverage Company. A student run, and so our coffee shop. Using analytics, you can kind of look backwards. So if you look at descriptive, what were our sales and how did that happen? So diagnostic, did we hit our sales or did we miss the sales, and why is that? So using data in order to kind of reflect on what we've already done. And also looking forward, we can try and predict. Can we try and brand future goals? What will happen next? Or prescribe, this is what we should do and what action will we take in order to align with that. So again, the applied version is great for transfer students. Business information systems, this is a very interdisciplinary degree that helps graduates have both leadership and business know how to lead, as well as technology background to be competitive in business. So these graduates will learn lots of fundamentals of business information systems and technology, including programming, networking, database management, project management, and IT governance. So I can't emphasize enough, I don't work for another university, I work for GCU. So all this information that I'm giving you about what you're gonna learn in a program definitely applies at GCU, but if you're looking at another school, be sure to ask them about that. Anyways, getting back to this, marketing and advertising is a great degree for students that prepares you for roles, such as marketing managers, sales managers, and market research analysts. At GCU, we actually have our own marketing and advertising agency. So our student workers are employed through the ad agency. So if you ever see a brochure or a poster or anything that looks like it has GCU on it, like this whole background that I have, all of this was put together by our ad agency, which is our student workers. So you'll have some hands-on experience with creating this marketing and advertising stuff as we go along. And we have, obviously you saw in the first video, a great entrepreneurial spirit at GCU. That's something that we're really passionate about. And if you're interested in entrepreneurial studies, what is an entrepreneur? Essentially, entrepreneurs are individuals who look to solve everyday challenges in order to make life better for everyone. So, we're all kind of entrepreneurs in our daily lives. We try and solve problems and create solutions for those problems, but entrepreneurs are more than just business owners or CEOs. They're people who see a need in society and find a way to fill that void. They may create a tangible product or an intangible service to help people that they have defined as our target market. So that's kind of a big overview on entrepreneurship. And we have finance, and we also have added finance and economics. So finance and economics is a one we've traditionally had. For finance specifically, we've also included some classes on real estate. So there are some, for finance, students interested in money management, you could consider a bachelor's degree in finance. There's a lot of career possibilities at the end of this degree. You can work with just about any industry or sector with any size of client base, and finance majors can work for families, nonprofits, mega corporations, lots of different options with that. And economics, specifically, and how finance and economics is the relationship between these two, GCU students will study the state of businesses, communities, and even countries, and how that can impact financial decision making. So understanding economic conditions can really help benefit making sound investments, and conversely, the status of finance can make a big impact on economies, small and large. So that's kind of the relationship between those two. And we have another video on business coming up on the next slide. And if it works, we'll watch it. If not, we'll skip it. Because we have a few more business degrees that we'll cover today. And we also have Mickey, who is our online representative. So if this doesn't work, we can just skip right through it. I just thought it was cool because it was one of our professors speaking to his passion towards entrepreneurship specifically. And he teaches full-time at GCU currently. His name's Tim Kelly, as you can see at the top. There we go.
At 9 years old, my parents cut me off and gave me a lawnmower. They said, you have to go earn money. And I said, great, I will. So I had that business all through high school and college, and did enough to pay for college, and just loved the spirit. Then as I began to travel, I knew that somehow entrepreneurship and international trade would be the growth path for what I would call trade through the Americas. And I got a job with the Arizona Department of Commerce as a trade rep, and ended up in Mexico City. And after about 2 years, another opportunity came up, and it was an organization that was a very large real estate group and wanted to open up a construction management division in Latin America. I built up some clients like Marriott Hotels and Hilti, a few others. And then they had decided to shut down the international division. So I said, I'm going to stay here and start my own, and started a commercial real estate group. So we grew the combination of companies to a top 5 player in the market, did more than 200 million in projects, held the company for about 14 years. And I began what was essentially an earn-out, meaning I was selling the company. Moved back to the United States. My wife and I wanted to raise our family here. So currently my wife and I, we have several other businesses, including construction. We have a Spanish immersion preschool. with 3 locations around the valley. I run a private equity fund where we do angel investing. I chair the Thunderbird Angel Network. Found GCU because I'd grown up in Phoenix and had always heard of it and knew that they had started a new organization, so to speak, sort of a reorganization, with a focus on entrepreneurship. I began as an online adjunct in 2009. I just loved it so much, and they said, we have a position. Are you interested? I said, yeah, absolutely. Now we've started Canyon Angels, which is a fascinating group that we hope will help grow the angel investing community here in the Valley. The mission that we have at Canyon Angels is really to be a channel for successful investors to have successful investments in entrepreneurs that are filtered through a process.
So I showed up about 2 years ago, just less than 2 years ago, and I met Tim. He is impressive because his passion to teach and what he brings as an instructor really comes down to his experience in the world as a successful businessman. He loves sharing what he's learned and done with students. He's very accessible to students and approachable, and so many students come to him for help, and he'll help every one of them. And so he's the perfect mix of real world business success, experience, and bringing that to our students in the Colangelo College business.
I have the opportunity to research and ask questions about what's really happening in the world, where if I were in a typical job, I wouldn't have the time to truly look back, see what's going on in the world, and say, how is it that by communicating this to others, we can make the world a better place? It's ultimately fulfilling to have the opportunity to share the vision, the stories, the war stories of all the different businesses and circumstances around the planet. What I'd like every student to realize is that they have the potential to dictate their own destiny. They should be fearless. They should be able to understand that they can start their own company if they so choose. There is a path where they can be that entrepreneur. They say if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. This isn't work to me. This is absolute fun. I'm passionate about it and love doing every minute of it.
I love that. It's a great reminder that at GCU, all of our teachers and professors have had 10 years of experience or more in the field that they're teaching you in. So they don't just teach you from a textbook. They actually have that real world experience and knowledge behind it. So going to zoom through these so that Mickey has a chance to speak today. We have sports management, which is obviously business aligned with sports. So sports managers' careers require both specific knowledge of the sport and generalized business skills like critical thinking and problem solving. So those are different options for that. And we also have hospitality management, which is, hospitality managers can oversee lodging, dining activities at various venues, and they ensure business is run efficiently and they can turn a profit. The one that I find really interesting is supply chain and logistics. You might have heard that a little bit on the news recently because supply chain has been disrupted due to COVID. So what is supply chain? Simply stated, the term supply chain is a series of processes involved in supplying a product or service to the consumer. So an expert at supply chain is Amazon. They have done an expert job of breaking down all of supply chain so that their consumer can get their product in just a couple of days. And education obviously is a great fit for you if you love working with kids or like to support others and are fulfilled by watching someone else become empowered to accomplish more than they believe they can accomplish on their own. So it's one that's really important to obviously our future as a nation and future as people. And then fine arts is one that I'm really passionate about as well. My husband's a jazz musician in Kansas City, and there are a lot of different areas that you can be studying in fine arts. Specifically at GCU, we have a lot of different options that are wonderful, involved in music, screenwriting, filmmaking, a lot of really great hands-on activities with those degrees, which is also very important. So the Honors College, we have a very interesting Honors College. It's because I find it very interesting because we also don't charge a fee to be a part of the Honors College. It's also for students that want to go that extra mile, that you are not necessarily looking to get more coursework or more rigorous coursework. It's just that next level of application. So they do a lot of mentoring and a lot of really great networking. And so we also have the PDS for the Honors College and a lot of these other colleges as well. But I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Mickey now.
Thank you, Samantha. So my name is Mickey Reed. I'm a university counselor in Kansas City for online students. So once you graduate high school and or want to transfer from a community college, if you're looking to complete your bachelor's degree or a master's degree completely online, I'm happy to help you. You can scan the QR code or take a screenshot and check that out later. And that's my page where you can send me a request for information. But online, we have over 225 programs in all the same colleges, over 9 distinct colleges that Samantha just covered. I know we had a question about education, so I'll kind of touch on that. Business programs are about the same that Samantha covered already. Education, we cover teacher certification all the way from birth through 12. So we have several dual programs that lead to dual licensure at the undergraduate level for early childhood, general classroom, and early childhood special education. That's birth through 3rd grade. Elementary education is K through 6. And then we have a dual elementary education K through 6 and special education K through 12. So that's a great program, one of our most popular programs. We also offer the federal Teach Grant. So if you want to become a certified teacher, in Missouri, most all teaching jobs are eligible for Teach Grant as a high needs field. So you can get additional funding off up to $16,000 off your bachelor's degree just by pursuing a high needs field in Missouri. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on that. I'm happy to share the details. Fine arts, humanities, we have psychology. Someone asked about forensic psychology. Yes, on campus and online. We have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology with a focus in forensic psychology. We also have a master's degree in forensic psychology. So if you're looking for a bachelor's degree in one field, but want to go on for a master's degree in forensic psychology or something like that, we have those programs as well. Nursing. So if someone completes like an associate's degree in nursing, becomes an RN, we have the RN to BSN. Then we have tracks all the way from MSN and DNP, Doctor of Nursing Practice. So we also on campus have our nursing programs on campus to become a registered nurse, as well as family nurse practitioner. Let's see, technology. So our IT programs, we have cybersecurity, computer programming, and several others. We have a College of Theology with different Christian ministries, children's ministry, as well as our seminary with online options, as well as doctoral studies. So if you are looking for an online option and are not wanting to go on campus, just let me know and I'm happy to help.
Thanks, Nikki. I also want to touch on real quick that we have the option to set up an appointment with a program development specialist, such as Tyler, that is a specialist in their field. So all of the different colleges that we've talked about tonight, including the ones that Mickey touched on, like theology, I didn't get to that one, but they also are doing these things called webinars, and they do those bi-weekly or monthly. Nursing is monthly. So get in touch with either Mickey or I, and we can get you in touch with them to either do an appointment or get in touch with the webinar as well. So we are also doing live lessons for different classroom settings. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this. I know parents listening will be like, thank you. This is my really great resource for external scholarships. Apply. I know a lot of students have some options, you know, doing hybrid model of learning and stuff right now. So you have a day at home to do your online learning. For GCU, if you want to come to Grand Canyon University. I'm running out of time, but if you want to come to Grand Canyon University, first of all, we have another session tomorrow. Invite your friends, your family, your pets, everybody can come tomorrow at 8 p.m. But if you have a 3.0 unweighted GPA, then you would be accepted to GCU. Congratulations. Scholarships are also applicable if you have a GPA or an ACT. We also accept weighted GPAs for your scholarship, not your admittance. But take a picture of this last screen because it's awesome. It'll take you to the apply link. That's for me, Samantha, that's been talking a lot today. And then I think we have Mickey's on the next slide. So I'm going to leave it a couple seconds more so you can scan that QR code if you're interested or take a screenshot. And there's my cell number at the bottom as well. I live here in Kansas City in the Northland. And there's Mickey's beautiful picture. She added an awesome picture to hers. And I think we are out of time. We just barely got it all in. So thank you so much to our panel, Tyler and Mickey, for joining tonight. Tyler all the way from Arizona, where it's sunny and warm and beautiful all year round. And I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for joining with us this whole time. And I think Mickey said there were a couple of questions in the chat. And if we did not answer them in the chat, then we can go ahead and answer them later. I believe this is our end of time. Yeah.
Yay. Great. So sorry guys to cut you short. Thanks so much for joining us. There will be a quick survey to follow. So just fill out that 4-question survey. Give us a little feedback to MOACAC on how these virtual sessions went and what you're looking to get out of these sessions as we move forward in the future. Be sure to sign up for more sessions at www.moacac.org. And then again, just a reminder, there will be a recording available on the web, available to y'all. So thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much to GCU and Samantha and her co-presenters for joining us tonight. We really appreciate y'all and have a good evening.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.